This Raw Vision video is brought to you by Metro Solar, proud partner of the Richmond Football Club. G'day Tiger fans, welcome to Raw Vision, and today I'm joined by Chris Newman ahead of the big clash with North Melbourne on Sunday. And Newey, it's an exciting time of year, the weather's really picked up this week. How are you feeling about Sunday, mate?
Yeah, feeling good, mate. Obviously the weather is picking up a bit. It was nice and sunny today. I think it's going to be good weather on the weekend too. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be obviously a big occasion. We'll have plenty of Tiger fans out there, and yeah, hopefully we'll get the result.
Mate, it's a pretty special time for you. Obviously you announced your retirement a few weeks ago, so you know that you're coming into your final few games. Would you say this is as excited as you've been with the possibility of winning a couple of finals?
Yeah, it's kind of a different sort of feeling. I actually thought that I'd be feeling a little bit more tense, or knowing that potentially it could be the last time I'm doing things around the club or something like that. But I don't. I feel at ease. The boys, I think that's the general sort of feel at the moment. We've done everything that we've done in the past. Nothing's changed this week, and just looking forward to a big challenge. North are obviously going all right. They're a good team. We respect them a lot. So
it's the third year in an elimination final. So you've had a couple of years' experience now with the build-up and I guess the excitement around the footy club. What's different this time?
Well, I would hope that we've had 3 successive finals campaigns, so hopefully we've matured a little bit from the first time we had our experience, and we're not really doing a lot different outside of the game. But I think the boys are just really excited and looking forward to it. It's a different group to when we played Carlton 2 years ago and even last year, and we feel like we've been practicing the same thing, so hopefully this time around it goes our way.
Is it a weird feeling, not knowing whether it's your last game or not this week? Obviously you're going to be giving it everything, as that goes without saying. Yeah,
a little bit of a weird feeling. But again, like I thought that I'd feel a little bit different. I think I'm glad that I can get out on the MCG and play in front of a big crowd. I look forward to running down that punt road end and hearing the roar again pre-game.
I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Playing in front of the Tiger fans, last opportunity perhaps at the punt road end, so it's just got to be an all or nothing atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that everyone still talks about when we played Carlton here 2 years ago. The result didn't go our way, but that's a memory that I'll always keep. I'll always remember that roar. The ground was shaking, so we're going to have a lot of supporters there again on the weekend. So we look forward to that. Obviously, the trick is to try and embrace the support, but then put it to bed and concentrate on getting off to a good start.
Your best footy's good enough this year. You've beaten Hawthorn, you've beaten Sydney up there, you've beaten Freo, so that's got to give the group a fair bit of confidence that if you come out and do what you know you've got to do, that you probably win the game.
Yeah, you're right. We know that if we play a certain way and a certain style, that we'll be in more games than we're not, and we've been in winning positions a lot this year. So I think we just have to keep that same style that we've been practicing for quite a few years now, with a few little minor changes along the way. But yeah, we just have to apply that. Don't worry about the occasion too much, and yeah, just play our best footy.
Are you glad you made your announcement a few weeks ago and got it out of the way? Has it made it easier for you to sort of get through the last few weeks, sort of not having that tension and anxiety about will I or won't I?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was the right decision. I knew it straight away. As soon as I made it, I felt like there was a huge relief off my shoulders, and I had a smile on my face straight away. A few of the boys are still a bit rattled, but yeah, I think it was the right decision. I was quite anxious about it, coming up to the point where we weren't really sure where we sat, and it could potentially go either way. So I thought we'll get it out of the way now, concentrate on footy, and thankfully it sort of paid off.
Was it tougher than you thought, getting up in front of the group?
Yeah, it was a bit tough. It's hard to watch. Like I've seen a few of the replays of it, and it's hard to watch because you get a bit emotional.
A few onions in the room, wasn't
there? Yeah, there's a couple of onions. But when you speak about family, I sort of went. My voice went up like real high, so it was pretty embarrassing doing that. But yeah, it was hard because as soon as I walked in, I felt it straight away, and the boys were all looking at it and they didn't expect it. But I'm glad I had my family in there as well.
It's been a bit of a farewell tour the last few weeks. Every time I turn on the TV, game day, you're on game day, and throughout W last night, you probably gone a little bit overboard with it, do you think?
Do you reckon I've made it about myself a little bit? Well, that was part of the plan. I wanted to get it nice and early so people could sort of get their opportunity to come out and give me a bit of a pat on
few
the head.
tributes here and
A few
there.
tributes. I thought it might have been Lenny Hayes-like. I was a bit disappointed I haven't seen any T-shirts or anything made up.
Oh, they might still be coming. They might. Hey, the boys, they get into you a bit. What's it been like the last years? It's a young group. You've been the older statesman. Do you get sick of being bagged about your age and this sort of thing?
No, I don't get sick of it. I think it sort of just comes with the territory a little bit. I think the younger boys have been great. They haven't been sort of standoffish because I'm an older player. I feel like I've got a lot of friendships even from some of the younger boys. So we've got a pretty good balance at the moment with younger and older guys. But they do get into my grey hair a little bit, but probably no more than what Dimmer does. Dimmer's probably the main culprit. He calls me old balls and all that sort of thing, so that's caught on.
I reckon one reason you can still relate to the young guys is you try and dress like Dustin Martin. Is that a fair point, do you think?
Yeah, well, I noticed I did have one of those questions on a footy show on the weekend, and I knew it had to come from you.
Is it Dusty you're trying to dress like that?
It's probably not Dustin. I would have thought that I'd dress better than Dustin. I am trying to stay pretty young though. Do you think I'm probably need to get over it and start shopping at Gazman a little bit more?
I think it's time to move into some chinos and polos.
So. Well, you're not bad yourself. You come in with a tight chino.
I'm gradually getting over it. It takes a while. Hey, all right, we'll stop mucking around. Let's go back. 2000, you were drafted. You came in. You played a year at Coburg, and the team had a good year. I think they played in a prelim that year. Take us back to then and what it was like settling in at Tigerland.
Yeah, well, I always remember the first day I walked into the place, and I spoke about it in my speech, and Wayne Campbell had greeted me at the door. I think he must have drawn the short straw because he wouldn't have done that at the Tank, but it was great to have him straight away welcoming me into the group. And 2001 we did have a good season, made the preliminary final. Obviously I wasn't part of I didn't play that year, and I wasn't part of the final series, so that was always a real disappointment for me. But a great experience, sort of watching you guys go about it and sort of being involved, watching in the stands. But yeah, it was. I didn't play for a year and a half, so I had to sort of wait. But played a couple of finals with Coburg, which was good.
You had some experienced defenders, I guess, around you back then. Leon Cameron was at the club, and he was a fantastic half-back. Then you guys like Andy Kellaway and Darren Gasper. Who did you sort of feed off in those early years? Yeah,
probably Leon Cameron the most, I'd say. He was great for me. The one thing that he drummed into me and said, he got my balance with offence and defence really well. He always used to say, try and get a touch every 5 minutes. By the end of the game, you'll end up with a few. And he was great. He was great for me and my confidence, and especially for a younger kid coming up, for a guy to sort of step aside.
From Narry Warren.
Yeah, kid from Narry.
From a successful background though, the Invincibles.
Yeah, well, I probably don't need to talk about it too much, but you know about the 8 flags in a row.
8 flags in a row.
Yeah, a bit embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. Mate, plenty of highlights, but one that I remember is your big barrel over at Subiaco. I think it's Domain Stadium now. Give us a couple of highlights. Obviously that was one because it was a pretty special moment.
Yeah, well, I don't really have too many highlights to be honest, but that was one. It was my 100th game. So I kicked the barrel. I think the next quarter I went back with the flight.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, got a punctured lung.
Oh, that's right.
So it was the mid-season break too, so the boys obviously stayed on and had a few beers and stuff, and I was cooped up in the room with a catheter and all sorts of
Just
stuff.
what you wanted.
Yeah, it was great to see the boys sort of maybe can it and maybe stay with Newey. Didn't happen. But probably the other highlights is just being captain of the club and leading the group out. Wearing the number 17 was a huge honour to look back on that, and to even wear the jumper is an honour.
You took over the captaincy in a pretty harsh time for the club. They were going through a rebuilding phase, obviously a new coach, and you took over from Kane Johnson. Give us your reflections of that time. Yeah,
it was a tough sort of opening year as captain. There was a fair bit going on. Ben Cousins obviously coming to the club too, so there was a lot of, the club was under a microscope a fair bit. But yeah, it was great to still have a lot of leaders around me. I still had yourself and a lot of the older guys there to sort of guide me, and I was still really raw. I was probably in the right position at the right time to get the captaincy. So I was just really fortunate to have Kane Johnson to have a huge influence on me, and Obviously Wayne Campbell's still been involved at the club as well. You know, that sort of helped me through those times.
There's probably a lot of players did depart around that time, a lot of, I guess, more senior players in that couple of years, and Dimmer comes in and it's a really young group and a big turnover of players. How difficult was it in those first couple of years under Dimmer when you were just trying to make your way as a captain and I guess bring new players into the club?
Yeah, that was really difficult, particularly the first year. I don't think we won a game until round 10 or something like that. We were being compared to the worst team to ever play the game. So that, I'll still remember that. But I always remember Damien keeping us onside, keeping the vision well and truly in the forefront of our minds and making sure that we stayed patient, and we were fortunate enough to do that. And we knew that we had a lot of talent around us. We just probably had to wait for that development, and I think we're seeing the end result of that now.
One of the things I always hear talked about, Newey, with your leadership was how you really put the emphasis on the jumper and really respecting that Richmond jumper. Is that something you're proud of?
Something I'm proud of, but something that was already present before I took over as captain. So I think that was ingrained at me at a very young age coming into this club. We've always had respect for the jumper. We've never let the jumper hit the ground. All those sorts of things have really contributed to my passion for the jumper. I am really fortunate, and I do mean it every time I speak about it. I love putting it on with the boys before the game. I think that's something that we own and something that all players that aren't playing aspire to be involved in. Extremely lucky to have worn the jumper, and hopefully a few more wins to come.
It's embarrassing. Just me managing. I'll give you a call back, mate.
Kidding. You are kidding.
All right, we'll get back into it. Trent Cotchin, handing the captaincy over to him, what was your reflections of that time? Was he ready at the time, or was it something that he was just the natural next choice?
It was probably the natural next choice. I think he was ready. Still quite green, and obviously I think every captain
was only young though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was quite young, a lot younger than me. So I think every person that steps into that captaincy role, it has a little bit of that uncertainty. And so, I think he probably took a couple of years to find his way, and sort of getting to the point now where, the boys love going into battle behind him, and we know that he does all the right things on the field. He leads the way. He represents the jumper as good as anyone I've ever seen. So he's developed into a great captain. We all love him, we all respect him, and he's got a huge amount of scope, I think, room for improvement.
You must be confident that you leave the club. I guess moving forward, the list's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of credit goes to the list management here, and getting the right people in the right places. I think is really important for this club, and not only through the draft but through the trade period. I think we've picked up a lot of great contributors to this club, and we've really moulded into a team that has led into 3 successive finals campaigns. So we know there's a lot of work to do, and we can get a lot better. So I think that's a positive with getting those more experienced players in.
And you're a much loved player. The fans love you, the Tiger fans. There'll be 80,000 there on the weekend. It must have been great representing Richmond in front of our supporters. They're so loyal, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I've had a lot of support over the years, and been really fortunate. I've always said that we've got the best fans in the world. They're so passionate, regardless of how you're going on field. They always show up, and they always stuck through us through those dark times. So it's good to see them enjoying their football a little bit more.
Mate, 15 years, a lot of guys come and go. We're just looking around the museum here, and you go, geez, you can't believe how many guys that you've played footy with. Who were some of your better mates over the years?
I think that the guys that you get drafted with, obviously, straight up had a fair bit to do with Kane Pettifer, and still one of my good mates. Brett Delidio's another one that's obviously still playing, formed a great friendship. But even some of the past players, I'd like to think that we're still pretty good mates. The Tank Campbell, we've got a good relationship.
You sort of dropped off Wayne since he went to the umpires, though, or not?
I think it's the other way.
So you dropped
the other way around. I've really heard a lot from him.
He's pretty arrogant, the Lord.
Yeah, he is a little bit. Kane Johnson's another great sort of mate of mine, and not only the players, but some staff around. Mark Opie is a guy that comes to mind. He's been great for me personally and for this club. I think he's been one of my mentors throughout the years.
So what's next, Newey? You're going to coach? What do you want to do?
Probably coach, I'd say. I'll stay involved in football, whether that's coaching or within the AFL. But I'll stay involved in football. I don't think I'll go back to my bricklaying days. I think that's past me.
That's not you. I don't think you're going to do that.
It's not my go these days. I used to be quite handy, but I'm not anymore.
So do you want to coach your own team, or do you want to get straight back into the AFL system and be an assistant?
Oh, well, if I had the opportunity to stay in the AFL system,
yeah.
I would. Yeah, definitely. That'd probably be my path if an opportunity comes my way.
Just before I let you go, Newey, and well done on your career. A fantastic servant to the club, captain and great mate to so many players over the years. But I just remember your first pre-season trip, and I might have mentioned this before on Raw Vision, but we went up to Echuca. I was paired up with you in an Ambrose golf event, and on the way to the course I said, Newey, how do you hit them? And you didn't hit one off the ground for the whole day. And that was after you told me that you hit them real good. So do you want to apologise to me and admit you can't play?
I think over the years I've always sort of steered clear of apologising to you. So I think I'm going to stand my ground with that.
After 15 years,
I refuse to apologise.
You cost me the event.
Because in the lead up to that, I was hitting quite well. So I was pretty confident that I'd hit them all right.
You don't apologise, but you didn't get one off the ground
that
day, did you?
I didn't. But I'm not bad. I'm still not bad.
No, you're not bad. You're a lot better than me. Hey, good luck on Sunday. It's been a great career, and hopefully the Tigers go deep into September.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.